should we be giving Saudi Arabia AI chips, Blackwells from NVIDIA, or F-35s? Because it looks like they're getting both today.
They may be. My head is spinning. Talk about insanity defense. That was a whopper of a press conference.
What'd you make of that session? I can't believe it even happened.
Back it up to the horses in front of the West Wing. I don't remember ever seeing that, plus the flyover and the red carpet for someone who is not head of state. But give him credit. I was just in Saudi Arabia with the Munich Security Conference, and I saw what is a changed Riyadh with women driving cars, incubators for startups, and a climate where most of the population is thrilled about MBS's vision, 2030 vision, to change his country. No discussion of human rights and no real discussion of human rights here today either, which I thought was unfortunate. And I thought that the president's gratuitous criticism of Mary Brewster of ABC was way over the top and unjustified. Yeah. But be that as it may, to answer your question, yeah, I think there will be more money from Saudi Arabia coming here, whether it's $1 trillion or not. It's kind of a soft number as I see it. How much will go into data centers? How much of it will go into job building? What I hear is that, unfortunately, AI may take away a huge number of jobs, especially of recent college graduates. So that needs to be factored in. But the economic relationship is pretty solid. There was also conversation about everything else, certainly including F-35s. And again, that's a little vague, but it does sound like we're sending Saudi Arabia the same planes that we send to Israel, which has never happened before, unless Congress intervenes. Congress has tried to block sales in the past, but not been successful. But that sale has been underway. There was no conversation, or I didn't hear it in all the flow of words, about anything about civil nuclear capacity. I thought it was good that that was left off because that's very complicated, and I don't think vague promises would work there. But this is now a growing relationship. The other piece that was discussed was whether there will be some Saudi recognition of Israel, and that depends, as the Crown Prince said, on a path to two states. He's hanging in for that, and that was U.S. policy until this administration. And I, as an American, strongly believe that that is in Israel's security interest to agree to a path to two states. I don't know if Bibi Netanyahu's administration will survive in this form if he does, but certainly if Trump wants to settle wars, get huge numbers on the board, this torrent of words was in the correct direction.
Well, Congresswoman, I want to pick up on one item that you mentioned, that is the F-35s, which we, among the laundry list of items that the Saudi ruler has asked for, that seems to be the most sure at this point. How would that change the balance of power in the region, the dynamics out there? If, currently Israel, as you mentioned, is the one that has the F-35s. If Saudi gets them too, what does that change, for better and worse?
Well, Israel is unhappy about that. It's always had the qualitative edge in military aid, but this has been a very complicated period since October 7, and I think Israel's use of some of its material has been criticized, certainly by the United States Congress. So I think there may be an appetite to do other defense deals. It means a lot of money to the U.S. Trump was very careful. Let me underscore this, because I know it's true for Israel too. I forget the use of words, but 2 or 3 words to say that this is not our most advanced software that F-35s contain in the United States. And there is a worry, of course, that Saudi has a deal with China, but I'm sure that to get these planes, they will have to promise that they won't share the technology. And, oh, by the way, I can imagine that China is probably pretty astute in trying to reverse engineer a lot of our material, not just to Saudi Arabia, but I'm okay with that deal. I think I'm not okay if we start on a path to sharing or permitting more nuclear developments in the Middle East, unless we absolutely know that won't spur an arms race and undo whatever progress Trump claims he's just made with Iran. That would be very unfortunate.
Jane Harman, we're lucky to have you with us for a couple of reasons. We just have breaking news now coming from Texas in a pretty remarkable headline we didn't expect to see today. And you can put your hat on as a former member of Congress for this one, to interrupt with a completely different story. Texas. The Texas redistricting map has been thrown out by a judge. Texas cannot use this new redrawn map drawn by Republicans in hopes of generating, another 5 additional Republican House seats. This is from a panel of 3 judges just ruling today, a massive blow to President Trump's efforts to redraw the congressional map. And it, of course, follows Prop 50 passing in California that you know a thing or two about, Jane Harman. Are we going to find that Gavin Newsom actually has the upper hand at the end of this event? Or are all these maps being redrawn off schedule going to be a problem now?
Who knows? This redistricting arms race is very troubling to someone like me who was strongly for the commissions in California. But hey, if Texas is doing it, California's going to do it. This was a lower court decision, I'm sure, Joe. So it's going to be challenged, and let's see what happens as it goes up the ladder. And the California plan will also be challenged. I don't know where this ends up. I mean, some of the speculation is quite amusing that the people expect to win these seats may not win them. I just think it's a tragedy to the voters of the United States that the decade, the observance that is set out by the Constitution, that we redo the population statistics every decade, is not going to be respected. But I do understand why California did what it did in response to Texas. So let's see. I mean, this is one of the more exciting news days of ever. What else is going to happen in an hour?
Is that true? My God.
Certainly a lot to unpack here. Well, as that Texas ruling has come down, we certainly are also watching Indiana. Congresswoman, I wonder your thoughts on where things go from there. Of course, the president has been applying a lot of pressure on his fellow Republicans in the state.
Well, I think it doesn't end there. I think a lot of other states are going to try to get into the game. Sadly, I think the game is sad. That is really my point. I think the decision of voters should not be interfered with. But be that as it may, I'm certainly not going to watch or sit by as some in this administration try to prejudice the fair votes of Americans in the next cycle. I don't think that's right. So let's see what the courts decide. As someone who cared intensely about the Voting Rights Act back in the day, I thought it was wonderful that we were enfranchising all voters. Now to see us disenfranchising voters is a really sorry chapter in the American democratic story. And one more point on human rights, because I think human rights were really not discussed in this press conference. I would say MBS has a way still to justify what happened a few years ago with the journalist Khashoggi. He didn't really face it in the questions today. And I would also say that our U.S. case for, moral authority is a bit tarnished lately, too, by some actions of this administration. And in both of those make me sad, because democracy needs to be robust in this world. It's the ladder for the people of this world who deserve respect and opportunity.